Alright, here we are. Another insights from the forest. I'm on the hunt for emotional support today and a little bit of stress reduction. What better place to come than the forest? And I'm standing below kind of a little trinity of trees here. There's one main trunk, and I've tried several times to identify it with the app on my phone, so I'm not 100% sure what tree it is. My gut is telling me white ash, which would be incredible because this is probably one of the biggest, healthiest white ash. Even though it has a big split down the middle here, it's still quite healthy, very vibrant in the summertime, and hasn't been infested by the ash borer that I can tell. And then below here we've got some, I keep getting basswood, American basswood when I look this one up. So I think what's happening is there's a couple of different trees that are all sharing the same root ball here. It could be the same tree, I'm not even sure. So I thought this would be a good episode to talk about, can you connect with the tree even if you don't know what species it is? I mean, it seems obvious. The answer is yes, of course. You can connect with any creature, anything in the animistic kingdom, right? Everything has a spirit. So yeah, of course you can connect. You can connect with this tree or any tree or a twig on the ground or a snowflake. That part of it is, there's no question there. But when you're looking for a specific type of medicine, right, or an invitation of some kind that's more specific, how does that work? Well, in this case, I'm not looking for any specific medicine. I'm looking for just general emotional support and more of a camaraderie than anything. And I can do that with any tree. So I thought this was the first one that popped in my mind. One of the first, anyway. As I said, if it isn't white ash, this is definitely the biggest one on our property. One of the only healthy ones. I've scanned this tree a few times, and again, I'm not going to get hung up on what type of tree it is, but just for the records, I've looked this one up many times, and it seems to give me something different every time. So I'm getting a lot of white ash results this time, and poplar was another one that could be just a standard Canadian poplar, which would be enormous for a poplar. I don't think so though, but this side here, the bark on these shoots here definitely looks like basswood. But regardless, this is a very healthy little tree bundle here. Very, very big, very girthy, this one. Very solid. And again, doesn't seem to be bothered by this big split running all the way down the middle. Could have got some water inside it, and then in the winter it froze and expanded and cracked. Could have been a lightning strike. Could have been another tree that was here at one point. It could just be the way that it grew, right? But regardless, it is a powerful source of energy, this area where this tree is. And it's, I think, because of the strength and the stability and the integrity and health of this tree. So what I was going to say earlier is that you don't need to know what type of tree it is. You can get to know regardless of the species, right? It's kind of like me. Does it make a difference to know that I'm French with a little bit of this and a little bit of that sprinkled in? It should make no difference. It's of no consequence. It's kind of the same with this guy. Deep down, we're all spirit. So our outer container is not indicative of what's inside. Not always, anyway. Not completely. So regardless of what species it is, I'm going to connect with this one for emotional support. And another thing we can do is connect with the energy of a specific tree if you'd like for that medicine through this tree. Of course, this tree knows the others, They're all one big family. You can stand to learn a lot of the way that trees are, their familial and forest groups. But this one here, you know, I'm going to use this tree to connect with the spirit of the white ash. And there's a very specific reason. We're going to look at two trees again today. And this is going to be the white ash. And it's a spirit of purity and ascension, not just because of the white element to it, but also it's one that definitely is an amazing vessel for the light. You can see beams of light all around it that are basically hugging the crown of the tree. So it gets the best light, some of the best light anyway, of this whole forest. And if we look up at the crown, it really doesn't have a lot of competition. But again, we know now that trees don't really function that way. They have great respect for each other's boundaries, as can be seen through phenomenon like crown shyness, which is so cool. Everything has its space and everything is respected by the things around it. Like, there is some crowding. Of course, there's going to be crowding. Everything's vying for its own space, but in a respectful way. In a live and let live kind of way. And that's what I'm getting from this tree, is one feeling of acceptance and an honor. As far as emotional support goes, it's encouraging me to stay grounded and to ground more often, at least once a day, minimum. And that will benefit not just myself, but all those around. More stability, more footing, better decision making. And if it is a white ash, I mean, this is Yggdrasil. This is the tree of life, so it makes sense that in order to have a grounded life, one must have a good foundation. And it's funny, I've been focusing a lot on the feet lately. You know, I have a sit-down job, so I don't spend a whole lot of time on my feet, but I've been trying to exercise more lately and spend more time upright and not at the desk so much, or taking regular breaks. And definitely the feet are feeling it from that increase in pressure, and it brings to light the idea that your feet are the foundation for your body. So without good feet, without, you know, toes that what's the word, splay, you can expect to have, you know, trickle down effects going all the way up the spine, up to the back and neck posture. And so yeah, it's such a beautiful message. Trees are so amazing. Like, this crack is indicating that though our bodies may be damaged, and it may look like even significant damage, we can heal, and we can kind of be the stronger for it and the better for it through our trials and tribulations and these opportunities that allow us to grow and to become stronger and have ever greater foundational stability. I'm going to give the ash one more second, give the ash energy another moment to come through this tree. Yeah, I am seeing branching, which could be indicative of lightning. Could be as above, so below, which would make sense for the tree of life. You know, you figure these branches are just as wide as the root pack underneath. So it is a message also of traveling between the worlds. Removing the veil as needed. Sometimes putting the veil on. Yeah. Again, regardless of what species this is a very beautiful trinity. Actually, it has another fourth one here I never noticed. There's another fourth one coming off the root ball, and I know some people would consider those suckers, but it's natural, and that's what that tree or those trees wanted to do. Who am I to say? Who am I to come along and cut it down? No, that tree is treeing in just the right way, just the way that it needs to. So the main reason I decided to go with the white ash energy for that one, and just to report kind of what's running through me right now, I definitely have an added clarity. It's very windy and cold and crisp today, but I feel warm inside. But definitely an improved clarity of some sort. Could be the natural grounding effect of forest. Look at that. Just beautiful. Sun came out from behind the clouds. Even in the sun, it's cold, but it's cold but clear. Okay, so there's one more that I was looking for, and this is what I was about to say. The main reason I chose the white ash is I found this one first. I wasn't even planning on connecting with this tree today. It's actually a tree I'm not very familiar with. I didn't even know we had this species here. And I really hope, send it energy, that it's still alive and thriving. It looks okay. It's got a vine on it. Right here. Vine's not even attached, actually. Oh, and I can probably get it down. Ugh! Just get whipped in the face. And I got most of it anyway. So this is a black ash. And at a glance, I am seeing some bug holes. But it's not that bad, actually. It still looks in good health. But this is a black ash. So we got the white and the black. And I think this is the only black ash that I know of. There may be others, but this is the first one that I've stumbled upon. And I scanned it with my phone and it came up black ash right away because it has very distinct bark. It's almost greenish, yellowish. Well, with the moss it looks green, but it's kind of a yellowish color. Very dark. And the wood might be dark as well. Maybe that's why they call it black. You look at the branches here, they're quite dark as well. It's a tall and slender tree. Lesser known variety. And again, what I was going to mention earlier is that you don't have to know a lot about the tree. You don't even have to know what type of tree. You give it a name if you want, but that's optional even. Names are not part of the tree realm. That's a human thing. Names, labels. This is a black ash, one of a kind, the only one of its kind. And I don't mean the species, I mean of this particular tree. There is only one, right? Just like there's only one me and there's only one Han. Not Han anyway. So it's sort of Yeah. So it's kind of mirroring. That's what I was hoping was going to happen, is there'd be some sort of polarity happening. And no surprise, that's exactly what's going on. But it's mirroring the white ash in the sense of self-care, but from the other perspective. The white ash was highlighting self-care from a collective benefit perspective, whereas this one is saying you need to benefit as well. You need to be the primary recipient of the light in order to be a light for others. It's the whole that same message again. It keeps coming back of put your mask on first, right? You're of no use, you're of no good to anyone else if you're not taking care of yourself. Ugh. And it's one, it's cold. I'm trying to push past, but it's really cold. It's one that change is slow. It's a slow going process. And it's incremental. And it doesn't just happen in a week or a month or even a year. Some changes are lifelong commitments. Some are temporary or boosts in energy or motivation needed, and you kind of get to where you're going. Others, it's very clear that it's a never-ending process, and emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, depression, anxiety, mental illness, the whole kit and caboodle, this is all a lifelong process. It's so much more about the journey than it is about the destination. It's all journey because there is no destination. The destination is being able to journey well. Thank you for helping me wrap that one up, my friend. I'll come back and see you again. Nice tree. So it reminds me of the black wolf and the white wolf. This will be the black wolf, and it's one thing I've been doing. I forget. Thank you, my friend. I forget where I saw it, but it was saying the parts of you that you're trying to change, you know, even that has a spirit, and it doesn't want to go. It doesn't want to die. And I think it's foolish to treat it that way, like it's some internal enemy that you're fighting against. I like to see it more like this is a part of me that doesn't want to cease to exist, and when I give it the space that it needs, and no more than what it needs, I'm able to exercise way more restraint and to temper it and to love it, you know. I love the black wolf just as much as I love the white wolf. It's like, what kid do you prefer? What's your favorite kid? You know, what's your favorite pet? You can't choose. You love each one for who and what they are equally. And that part of you that you're trying to change or temper or overcome or whatever it is, to foster that part of you, you can't try to kill it. It doesn't want to die. It's like trying to kill a part of yourself. It's not the right approach. And I don't think that it's possible or wise. Better to embrace it, right? Just like the shadow. Embrace the shadow, understand the shadow, work through the shadow, allow the shadow to fuel your motivation and your desires, but no more than that. When it gets to the point where it's controlling you, then it's a problem. But I would argue that, you know, the white ash, the white wolf energy shouldn't be controlling you either, because that's when we get into territories of feeling overly righteous or, you know, start patronizing or condescending or thinking of yourself above others. that's too much on the white wolf side. So it's interesting. I'm passing by the white ash again. Another opportunity to say thank you. It's a beautiful tree, and it's nice to have the pear. Originally I was going to go see, there's a butternut here that I don't know the butternut energy very much. That was kind of the idea of this video, is to connect with trees that you're not familiar with any tree. Again, regardless of what its name or label is, right? And the butternut is an energy that I'm not familiar with, so I was going to go connect with it for emotional support, but I'll save it for another day. The white ash and black ash definitely came through. I'm in a much more reflective state of mind now, and calmer, more connected, more grounded, obviously. I think I just needed to breathe some fresh air, get away from the desk. Worked very hard over the years to improve my physical environment, but sometimes, no matter how much energy or thought or care you put into your physical environment, physical is not what you need. You need to remove yourself from that physical environment and switch things up. That's exactly what I did, and seemed to have paid off nicely, and had a nice time with the trees. So, thanks for watching, my friends. Tune in again next time. We'll look at 2 other trees and gather some more insights from the forest. There's an endless supply of them to be had. Thanks for watching. Take care. Be well. See you next time.